Hey everyone, welcome back to the Hood Table one more again. It's your girl back with another TV show review. Come on in, please make sure you like and share the video and subscribe if you happen to be new here. And don't forget, we do have members, so hit that join button. You guys come on in so you can enjoy the show.
You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable. Hop on YouTube, welcome to the Hood Table, where we chop up local and global events vocally. You don't really wanna miss out on these conversations. Just joke a little, laugh a little, get that wine in your system, fill your glass a little. Expose current events, talk trash a little. You never know, these opinions might clash a little. They addicted to the content, got them binge watching. You don't like it, then you want invited. Bet your friends watching in the house and your job parking lot before you clocking. They don't wanna miss a second of this HT content. Everybody think they got something to say, so it's an open invitation, bring it to the table. But if you come whack, just know we ain't buying in. We gon' probably turn your back and tell you sorry, try again, Yeah, welcome to the Hood Table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable. Yeah, welcome to the Hood Table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable.
Yes, again, welcome back to the Hood Table, you guys. Today we are going to be reviewing Power Raising Kanan. We are now on season 4, episode 3, and the title of the show was called Bygones. Now, you guys, you missed me for episode 2. We did the premiere episode review, but for episode 2, I was like, man, it still was kind of going at a steady, slow pace. I was like, I'm going to wait till episode 3 come around and then see what we can pick up from there to do a review on. So here we are, episode 3. And the title of the show, again, was called Bygones. And please, again, make sure you like and share the video, please, and thank you very much. Now, as the shows has been still kind of steady, still kind of going kind of slow, things are happening, And then last episode, we saw how Rock had found out that her brother Marvin had been meeting up with Tony Danza. I still call him Tony Danza. He'll always be my Tony Danza. But, in this show, he's playing Stefano Marchetti, okay? The godfather of New York City, of the mafia scene. He's the most powerful man in town. But she tried her best to play it off as if she already was aware. When her attorney was talking to her in that diner, it's like, yeah, word on the curb, word on the street is your bro been meeting up with Marchetti. And she was like, oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, that's right. And then also last episode, Uncle Marvin, who is still being an errand boy for Stefano, he felt like he had no choice but to kill that man who he was supposed to just shake up. He was supposed to just put some fear in his heart, right? He was supposed to just send a little message from the big man. Instead, now feeling, how the man was getting a little lippy with him. He just had to put a bullet on him. He just couldn't walk away from all that smart talking, that back talking, that lip yakking, right? Lip thumping that he was doing. And then last time we did discuss also how we strongly believe that Uncle Marvin and Stefano are eventually going to have a beef. Do y'all believe that? Because that is what I truly believe, that eventually they are going to knock heads, okay? Because he got him really running around doing all his dirty work. Where your people's at? He talking about he don't like to mix certain things together, but he didn't let Rock know that he's using his brother to run some of his errands. And he also made it very clear in a subtle type of way to Marvin that, he's trying to not mix things up. And that's when Marvin was like, man, she ain't the boss of me, Anyway, so Marvin is still, doing side jobs for Stefano. And I think that is going to be a setup in the end. I think Marvin is going to be set up to fall for some of these side jobs that he's, handling for Stefano. But not only that, but Uncle Marvin also forced the Asian to fire their nephew. Now, we saw how the nephew was stealing. Marvin realized he was stealing from them. He had stuff all down in his dirty drawers. He was like, drop drawers, nigga, drop drawers. The dude dropped them drawers, and then all this dope fell out, and I'm like, ew. Make sure you watch that real good. But anyway, the dope heads, they don't mind how dirty, stinky it is. If they pull it out your ass, they'll still take it. But anywho, moving right along. So not soon after that, Neek showed up at an Asian spot, sweating them for now, doing business with Rock. And after they done handed over all the dope and the stash, of course, Neek couldn't leave any witnesses behind. After putting a bullet in each one of them, the nephew, though, should feel very lucky that he was fired. He wasn't there. He had the day off, a permanent day off, okay? So he should feel pretty lucky that he wasn't there because I'm sure it would have been nothing for Neek to put him down also. But then he had to kill the attorney man, Neek. He done up and killed the attorney who was representing Rock and her family. Then he killed the Asians, Richard and Sonny at the store. The grandpa was like, forget this shit. I'm out of here. Deuces. Okay, but unless he wants to be buried right next to his kin, like right next to his kin, then he better agree to stay in business with Rock, right? The crazy thing of that is that at that time, Rock still didn't have any idea who the shooter was, or that the shooter was in fact her own baby daddy. And of course, neither did Uncle Marvin, who busted up in the nephew's apartment, accusing him of gunning down his own aunt and uncle. Man, the nephew about pissed his pants. Like, this is the second time I had to run in with Marvin. We don't want these problems. I wasn't there. I was fired. I was permanently fired. I would never do that. I love my aunt and uncle. And it was then that he realized that the nephew wasn't behind the desk. And that Richard and Sonny's little girl is now left with no parents. So what did Uncle Marvin do? He has a soft spot, y'all. He does have a soft spot. He promised the nephew that he will handle whoever did this to his aunt and uncle. And he was so moved by knowing that the little girl might end up in foster care. He also paid her a visit at the school and then left her his phone number to call him if she ever needs anything. Why do I think she will end up calling him? I don't know why. It might not be this season, but I do have a feeling that Marvin is going to have something to do with that little girl. I don't know what it is. I ain't saying he's going to adopt her or anything like that, but I'm just saying. Anyway, so June, she didn't win AWOL from the army after realizing that if she couldn't be all that she can be in the army, then she don't want no parts. They did. She popped up her house. They had popped up at her dad's house trying to drag her butt back to the barracks. But that was until Juke let on that she was gay. I'm gay. I am a lesbian. Okay, I like girls. All right, I like the kitty cat. And she threatened to bring a lawyer into the situation. So that being said, they decided to grant her an entry-level separation. They didn't like that. They was like, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should just be ashamed. She was like, whatever. Anyway, see ya. And then after bouncing on Uncle Sam, she thought that she could just lay up and play house with old girl from college. But old college girl, she cool on that. Yeah, hooking up is good. You doing what you do down there is good. You know, going downtown, that's good. But we ain't shacking up, boo. She got other things, you know, on her mind. She trying to get her life right, you know, get her college on and everything like that. You know, she's looking out for her future, not for her relationship. So realizing that music has never been her forever plans, after running some errands, Juke enrolled back in school. Then later met up with her cousin Kanan. Now, one of the topics of discussion was the whereabouts of Famous, who she was told by Marvin skipped town. But per Kanan, a lot of folks are saying that he might be talking to the popo. Is that right? Juke was looking at him like, you lying to me? You lying to me? Because she's like, he ain't never snitched. He ain't the type of snitch. But the police did take him down, you know, to be questioned after, you know, the murder of Freddie, his neighbor. Y'all remember that? The neighbor that Fame shot in the hallway. Juke was like, ain't no way Fame's a snitch. So Juke figured Fame is just, you know, somewhere in LA with his sister hollering at every girl that he see on the beach or in the car, or, you know, how Fame is. But you know how the light skins was back then. Them Albie shorts back then. But anyway, Kanan has been really looking out for his grandmama, Grandma Joyce. I think that's her name, Joyce. Who still forbade him from revealing her illness to the rest of the family. Not only does she not want them to know, but she has also refused to take any more of her medicine, knowing that the outcome is fatal whether she takes the meds or not. And being that her cancer has spread throughout her body, Kanan continued to plead with her to please just allow everyone at least one more chance to visit with her. On the other hand, Kanan's girlfriend, she had a run-in with Neek. Child, if looks could kill. Child, she had a run-in with Neek on the stoop of Kanan's crib. Now, had she known who that nigga really was, she would have been the one apologizing to him. She would have been like, I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, boss. I'm sorry. I should have looked where I was going. I should have so that I wouldn't have been in the way when you came on this day to accidentally bump into me. She would have been like, I'm sorry, whatever, you good. But nah, she turned and looked at him like, excuse me, nigga. You can't say excuse me, man. He must have turned around and gave her the look. Like if looks could kill. And he slowly started walking her. Did you see her ass? She took flight. That girl turned around so fast and started walking off. That fast little walk. Like, I ain't running, but I'm going to walk real fast. But she turned around and started walking because she saw that look. And she don't know who he is. But that's one of them looks where you be like, I'm going to just cross the street. That dude over there look crazy. So I'm going to just cross the street. All right. But yeah, she turned around, ran up in the apartment, insisting that Kanan find somewhere safer for them to lay their heads at night. And they did. They did go apartment hunting. They saw some places that were not anywhere near as good as the one they had. And unfortunately, on one of them, the apartment manager realized that he would be renting to a very young Black couple. So he lied. Saying that the apartment was just rented a few days ago, even though that very morning his girlfriend Crystal was told the apartment was still vacant. So they know what time it is. Kanan was like, shit, fuck you in your raggedy ass apartment. We don't need no apartments. We can go find something else. So they did, however, end up at that other place, and they coerced the manager to taking a nice lump of cash to cover darn near 6 months of rent, since they didn't have any good credit. The manager was like, hey, when you want to move in, here's the key. I know you are going to be very, very happy here. I was cracking up because that's what people used to do back in the day too. They just run up a whole bunch of money to these landlords and did shit. The landlord don't ask no questions at all. Now, Uncle Lulu, he's managing. Y'all need to let me know how y'all feel about this. He's managing that Rilla guy, and every time they say his name, I think of Glorilla. But he's managing that Rilla guy or helping him with his music career or whatever. I'm not so sure if he's made the right choice though. Seeing how hot-headed he is, the dude was in jail, stuff like that. But the attorney or whoever that person was that they was talking to about the music, he most definitely did not use the right choice of words when speaking about his upbringing. Did y'all hear what he said? Did y'all catch what he said? For some reason, I feel like that's going to come to bite him in his ass. Literally, the white dude, he was talking about, his upbringing, what his parents used to do. And he told them, I still keep money stashed in my crib just like my parents used to do. I don't know why, but I still keep money stashed up. You don't tell that to some hungry niggas. I mean, they there to get an advance. They broke. They trying to get an advance to get his music career up and running. And he just literally told him where the money at. Anyway, he said that right in front of Rilla, who was pretty much begging for an advance. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about that. But Lou, who also, he also had a very emotional moment at AA. He's been doing pretty good, staying out the streets, helping running the bar, the club, trying to help musicians and whatnot, keeping his nose clean. But he had a very emotional moment at AA. After reaching a milestone, with therapy, he stood up and he spoke from his heart about how he was so close to hanging himself in rehab. And Rock had no idea. This man had tied the rope up and everything. Then he caught a glimpse of himself in the mirror and realizing that he didn't even recognize his own self when he saw his reflection in the mirror. So he said he felt sorry for the man that he had become. And that is what he started focusing on finding himself. Now, Rock, not knowing how close she was to losing her baby brother in that rehab center, she basically is telling him, you know what, bro? You know what she told him when she went to the rehab? She told him, not this time at the session, but before, she had told him, stay out the streets. She'll handle things from now, keep your nose clean, just do what you got to do to, better yourself. And so she told him again, just promise me that, you know, you'll just take care of yourself. Just promise me that you'll take care of yourself. So before heading over for dinner, you know, they had a little sister brother, you know, come to Jesus moment or whatever you want to call it. But speaking of dinner, the din at grandma's house. Before Kanan walked into Mama Joyce's house, Rock let on that she knew he hadn't been sitting in school. Remember, she had went to his house and Crystal was like, "Are you asking me or are you telling me to tell your son to hit you up about school?" She was being all smart. See, them ones. Them ones better got smacked down. Be like, son, you better get your girl. Gotta see, but see me. When my sons was coming up, I'm like, if I don't like them, if I think something up with them, if I don't like the family that they from, I don't want no parts. So you better bring home the right one. And they did pretty much bring home the right one. And both of them been with their, you know, current women for some years. So I think they did pretty good. But anyway, yeah, she would have got, see, she lucky. She lucky because Rock could have back, man, had her in the trunk somewhere. But anyway, she was being a little disrespectful. But she was kind of right, you know, when it comes to, I'm sorry, Kanan was kind of right when it came to, Raquel, to his mom, because she was sweating him about not going to school. And he was like, "What the fuck you think I was gonna do, ma?" And no, I can't get the accent right, you know, but the dialect right. But he was basically like, "What the fuck you think I was doing? You to raise me around street niggas, around drugs, around gangs, around murderers, and this, that, and the third. And then you tell me to go to college when you ain't even went to college." And I mean, obviously, Rock didn't like what he was saying to her, especially when, you know, he said what he said. "Sometimes, Ma, I think you really crazy." He knows she crazy, but he meant like really crazy. Like, do you hear yourself talking crazy? Do you hear how yourself sound crazy? Like, you can't raise somebody. You know how they say you can't turn a hoe into a housewife? I'll just leave that right there. It's kind of hard to raise a kid in that type of thug life, gangster life, hood life, drug life, and then just be like, "Go to college, be great." You know what I'm saying? Especially when he see all that money, and he had his moment out there in the streets making money too. So yeah, all she could say was, "Yeah, sometimes I think I'm crazy too." And again, she is. But anyway, as far as dinner, back to Grandma Joyce. Dinner was going semi-okay up until Rock questioned her mother. "Why are we here?" Now, that ain't that sad. You go to visit your parent, and you like, "Why am I here?" Because you know she ain't never invited y'all over for dinner. And if they have, it was a long time ago. They don't even mess with her like that. And that is something I would never want to be faced with. When it comes to my children and my grands, Mama Joyce, you know, she put her kids through a lot of shit when they was growing up, when they was coming up. Then after they got older, she only wanted to be bothered with them if they were handing her over some money. Remember when we first met Mama Joyce? She was like, "Who's gonna give me the money? Is it you? Is it Marvin? Is it Lou? Where's my money?" I was like, at first I thought she was a damn bill collector or a drug dealer or a kingpin or something. "Where's my money?" That's her kids. That's her kids. I mean, I hate to ever be in that situation with my kids or grandkids. The way we are, shoot, hey, you can come here whenever you want. We talk to each other almost every day. We say "I love you" to each other at least 2-3 times a day. Even the one that don't live here, he won't get off the phone until he say "Love you, Mom. Talk to you later." So, you know, anyway, anywho. But other than that, Mama Joyce, she pretty much kept a nice distance from them. So for them to be summoned to a family dinner over pot roast and have to learn that their mother doesn't have that much longer to live because of the cancer. Again, if I ever have to have an illness like that to deal with, I pray my family and I are on great terms as we are now. But y'all let me know what y'all think about any of those situations, any of those scenarios that I summed up in this review. I will be back once episode 4 comes out. What is it, Friday? When it comes out? Oh, Friday. Okay, I got some things to do this weekend. I got some things to do. I got a birthday party cake order for a 60th, a beautiful 60-year-old lady's birthday. So I'm gonna start working on that Friday and finish it Saturday. Then I'm supposed to get my grandchild Saturday evening. So I probably won't be back till Sunday or Monday to do the review on episode 4. So you guys make sure you watch it so you can catch me on the review. I don't know if I'll be live or if I'll just do a live recording and then open it up for the viewers. I don't know yet. But anyway, you guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. Please make sure you like and share the video. If you didn't on your way in, please do it on your way out. Also, feel free to subscribe if you happen to be new here. And if you want to donate to the platform, feel free to hit the Cash App, hit your sister up to donate to the platform. $ the Hood Table 402 will do. And on that note, stay safe, be blessed, remain vigilant at all times. And as we always say, always remember to keep it hood. I'm out. Bye.